He never knew a single moment of love until the day everything changed.
Fala.
For so long, Caramel lived inside a quiet corner of the shelter, watching life move past him like a story he wasn't invited to join. Every morning, he would lift his head with a fragile hope, wondering if today might be different. But dozens of families walked by without stopping. Some pretended not to notice him. Others exchanged confused glances about his unusual appearance. Caramel, living with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, carried soft folds of skin that made him look different from the other dogs. To him, it felt like a mark that pushed the world away. He saw other dogs find families, saw their tails wag excitedly as they left for their new homes. But every time a kennel door opened, it was never his. With each passing day, the meaning of affection grew more distant. How many silent nights did Caramel curl up alone, wondering if he would ever be chosen? How many times did he lower his eyes, bracing himself for disappointment? Gradually, the gentle sparkle he once held faded. Caramel became withdrawn, hesitant, almost convinced that kindness was something meant for others, never for him. Yet, without knowing it, something extraordinary was already on its way, because sometimes fate works quietly.
Excuse me, sir. Yes, quick question for you. Why are you so cute?
And the biggest blessings arrive when a heart is almost ready to give up. One sunny afternoon, a family stepped into the shelter. They didn't hurry or rush. They looked around with warmth in their eyes, searching carefully, as if they were looking for someone special. Caramel noticed them but immediately turned away. He expected the same reactions he had always faced: whispers, uneasy looks, giggles he pretended not to hear. But instead, he felt something different. They didn't turn away. They admired him. They saw beauty where others saw strangeness. They saw gentle eyes, soft spirit, and a soul waiting for a chance. And in that moment, without hesitation, they chose him. Not out of pity, not out of obligation, but out of pure, genuine love. The shelter team explained his condition. They shared how the loose skin was part of his syndrome, and that removing it wasn't recommended because it could put him at risk. The family didn't flinch. They simply nodded, ready for whatever care he needed. That same day, they signed the papers and opened their home and their hearts to Caramel. But healing doesn't happen overnight. At first, Caramel struggled deeply with trust. He had forgotten the softness of a gentle touch, the comfort of being safe. He spent hours tucked into corners, unsure of how to respond to kindness. Sometimes he avoided everyone, unsure whether he was allowed to feel secure. How could he understand love after so long without it? But the family never gave up on him. They spoke to him softly, moved slowly, and offered patience instead of expectation. They created small moments of comfort: warm blankets, calm routines, a quiet space that belonged only to him. And little by little, Caramel began to lean into it. He started building tiny bridges toward connection: a small tail wag, a hesitant step closer, a moment of eye contact that lasted just 1 second longer than the day before. His family celebrated every small victory because they knew each one came from courage. And then, something beautiful happened. Caramel started playing. At first, it was slow, as if he was unsure whether he was allowed to enjoy himself. But soon, he began joining his siblings, romping around the house with newfound energy. He discovered toys. He learned to nudge his family for attention. He found the joy of curling up beside them, no longer afraid of touch. It was as if his heart had finally remembered how to open. Then came the day of his first walk. His family gently led him outside, and Caramel placed his paws on the earth as though stepping into a dream. He moved carefully, looking around with wide, curious eyes. Is this real? Am I truly safe? The breeze brushed his face and he inhaled deeply, as if breathing in a brand new life. From then on, those walks became his greatest delight. He loved exploring the grass, feeling the sun, and eventually sprinting through open spaces with bright joy. Caramel transformed into a dog full of energy, playful, expressive, and deeply connected to the family that never stopped believing in him. Today, Caramel's life is filled with everything he once thought he'd never have. A warm home, a family that treasures him, siblings who adore him, good food, soft beds, and above all, love that surrounds him every single day. His story is no longer about loneliness, but about renewal, healing, and the power of compassion to rewrite a life. Caramel is living his own quiet fairy tale now, a life far away from the days of waiting and wondering. And maybe his story makes you wonder too, how many other animals are out there, still waiting for someone to see their worth? If Caramel's journey touched your heart, please share this story, leave your feelings in the comments, and help remind the world that every life, no matter how different, deserves love.